Last week, South Carolina took down the Confederate flag, and Negroes celebrated what they thought was a victory. Many of them were slicing watermelons, shining shoes, frying up chicken, and they thought they really accomplished something. And what many people don't know, they just can't smell the glaze. They just can't smell the sauce. I guess they're immune. Their nose, their olfactory senses just have become nose blind to the scent of honey barbecue sauce because these Negroes could not smell the glaze. They could not taste the glaze. They could not see how they had just been glazed yet again. But, Negro just doesn't get it. I mean, he sits there, he thinks that South Carolina taking down the Confederate flag was some sort of victory, some sort of accomplishment, and, you know, that it helped move the race forward. No, it did nothing for anyone. Basically, what the Negro got, and I'm just going to I'll just take something from Okie 100, that he said, Negro got a consolation prize. Basically, for all of his marching and protesting, he got a consolation prize. At the end of the day, he got nothing. Yes, some Negro pastors and some civil rights leaders and civil rights dinosaurs got up and said, we took down this symbol of hate. Yeah, and what did that do for anybody in the black community? Did that help in any way, shape, or form? Did that change anything, in any way, shape, or form? Did that make any of these racists change their views of this African American Negro? Did it put them on notice? No, it did not do a single thing. But you have this Negro, again, slicing up watermelons, frying chicken, shining shoes, and acting like he accomplished something. And he really accomplished nothing. I mean, I look at civil rights over the last 40 years, and it's like watching a retarded child play Super Mario Brothers. And with the retarded child, you give them the Nintendo controller, they see the Mario going across the screen, they push it forward, they run into the first little Goomba, the character jumps off the screen and dies, and the child thinks it's done something and then goes and presses the start button yet again and gets ready to start playing the same video game, thinking that they're going somewhere, but they're actually going nowhere. And this is the whole state of race issues in America. It's like, again, retarded children playing Super Mario Brothers because, you know, everybody else, has the critical thinking skills to understand how to play the game. And you have your gays who have gone, who have moved forward in the game and, have gone forward and built themselves up to the point where they now can legally marry and now they have economic power and political power. You have Hispanics who've now leapfrogged over the Negro and now have economic and political power and now and now a voting bloc. You have Asians who have economic power and political power, and you now soon will have Indians and Africans surpassing this Negro. And the Negro, again, is still like the retarded child playing Super Mario Brothers. Still dying at the same first world screen, still running into that mushroom, and still believing that they have achieved something. Meanwhile, every other race has already beaten, the big dragon at the end of Super Mario Brothers, saved the princess, and gone on Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario Brothers 4, Super Smash Brothers, and, they have gone on to learn not only the Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Nintendo GameCube, and they have pretty much mastered, pretty much all of these other systems, and in economics, politics, finance, and they have achieved things that this Negro hasn't had. Negro is still playing 8-bit Nintendo Super Mario Brothers when it comes down to race and politics, again, because he's politically retarded. And because he's politically retarded, he just does not understand that, you keep doing the exact same things and expecting a different result. And that's what Albert Einstein called insanity. But the Negro thinks he's accomplished something. He thinks he's achieved something. And, he takes a shallow, superficial thing like a Confederate flag and thinks, I've achieved something. Like, no, Negro, you have not achieved anything. All you have gotten is a consolation prize. All you have gotten is the latest piece. You've just gotten glazed over yet again. And because you just can't smell the honey barbecue sauce, you just don't understand how you have been glazed. You don't even understand how you have been played. How has this helped you in any way, shape, or form? I mean, A flag being gone does nothing for you. You having no economic power, you have no political power. You have pretty much shown people that, you know, they don't need to take you seriously. Why should they think that your life matters if you don't do anything again to make their life matters? And I've been saying this time and time again. You just do stupid things over and over again. You just can't smell the glaze. You just can't smell the honey barbecue sauce. And just like a Nickelodeon TV show, you can't see the glaze coming at you. But but it just drops down on you. You think you've gotten something nice, but in the end, you've just been clowned and humiliated, and you can't see the glaze. You can't smell the glaze, and you just can't see how you've just been played yet again. They give you, Barack Obama gave you a consolation prize in that song he gave you, and now the state of South Carolina has now given you yet another consolation prize, and you just can't see, how you've been played. Here we have right now Hispanics who now have trade and commerce going on with Cuba now, economic money, billions of dollars coming into their community due to this deal with Barack Obama. We have gays who now have the legal right to marry, which means more money for them in terms of wedding rings, wedding planners, wedding cakes, just a plethora of dollars coming to them. Women who have pretty much gotten so much from Barack Obama it's not even funny. And we have the Negro who got a song and a flag taken down, and he's smiling like it's some sort of accomplishment. And we look at this picture and we go, yeah, this Negro is politically retarded. He's the stupidest person in the room. Them taking a flag down means they don't have to maintain that flag, they don't have to care for that flag. It is no longer it's just put away and that's it. They've actually saved money thanks to this Negro. And this Negro thinks he's accomplished something, he's achieved something, And, if he had put this same passion and heart for getting this flag taken down to approach black on black crime, his horrible dropout rate in the public school system, or basically his own public schools, if he approached, even the well being and the care of his own community with the same passion and heart, this Negro would be, a lot further in the game than he would. He wouldn't be stuck in an 8-bit world with Super Mario, looking like pixels. He'd be up here, with the 3D rendered Super Mario in the Nintendo GameCube or the Sony Point PS4 or the Xbox. He would be up here, at the other level. But no, because he's still politically retarded. He's still playing, old time 1960s, 1970s, and 1980s political games. He still winds up behind the 8 ball even though he thinks he's getting ahead. And you look at this Negro, he just doesn't get it. He just doesn't get anything. I mean, this flag had been flying over this state for, over 50 years, and he's upset over a flag, but he doesn't understand that, this doesn't change a single mind of a single person in that state regarding that flag. It doesn't change a single opinion regarding anybody in that state. And it doesn't change, any perceptions of him, because the whole world still sees him as a laughingstock. They still see him as a honey barbecued minstrel who they can continue to glaze over time and time again and present him with the same, basic plays out of a playbook where they give him consolation prizes just for showing up, and instead of giving him, instead of giving him, a true, seat at the table, and he can contribute on any level. But when I look at it, this whole, Confederate flag thing, it's just sad to see, because I look at these honey barbecue glazed Negroes, and they think that they have won something, but in actuality, they have lost, because you taking down a flag at the end of the day does not change the dysfunctional situation for this African American Negro. It doesn't change, the economic and political conditions for this African American Negro. It's just basically you took a flag, you went and cried and moaned and got a flag, and people felt sorry for you, took a flag down, and basically gave you a consolation prize because they figured this would pacify you and these Negro pastors and these civil rights dinosaurs, and they wouldn't have to give you anything serious from the table, like, oh, hiring black teachers for your classrooms in your school districts, um, you know, really hiring black police officers to help you deal with this black on black crime, doing something about your dropout rate, anything that requires spending money. There was never any money spent, for this Negro community, and that's all because this Negro, he just keeps falling for the glaze. He doesn't smell the honey barbecue sauce in the air. He doesn't see anybody. He doesn't see his own Negro pastors and politicians with that craft bottle in their hands, getting ready, to go get them some ribs so they can get the glaze. And he just does not see, you know, he just can't smell glaze. He can't taste glaze. I mean, he's become nose blind to the smell of honey barbecue sauce, and he just cannot smell glaze whatsoever. I mean, this is why people make a complete fool out of this Negro. This is why people just laugh at him. And, this is why you continue to get consolation prizes just for showing up. Just like, retarded children get just for showing up. And people look at you, Negroes. They look at you and they say, this is a guy we just can't take seriously. This is just a guy, he's never going to ask, for the things that he really needs in terms of economics. He's never going to, show that he has any semblance of intelligence and say, what, this Dylan Roof guy, yes, he was a racist, yes, he was a sociopath, and yes, he was even a simp, but, we have bigger fish to fry, we have a bigger political platform that needs to be built, and, getting a flag taken down is not something we need to be, again, protesting. What we need to be protesting for is, getting more African American teachers into African American schools, getting, some help working on efforts to curb this black on black crime, going after Madison Avenue in Hollywood, and insisting that they stop promoting this thug culture in our black communities. Literal, and coming up with a constructive platform of goals that are actually going to function, and doing things that will actually help our communities forward, and then doing other things such as on our own personal level, stop shopping at these foreign-owned stores and stop taking away from our own economy. But no, Negro doesn't want to do all that. No, he'd rather march in protest, spray paint Black Lives Matter on Confederate war memorials, and do superficial things that make it look like he is fighting to advance the race, but in actuality is doing nothing constructive at all. And this is the sad state with this Negro, regarding himself. He's still playing, obsolete games with people, and because they feel sorry for him, they throw him a crumb, and he thinks he's accomplished something, but in actuality, he's still, way behind the times. That's all I have to say for this video. Comment, rate, and subscribe.